And this man sat up there and kind of insinuated that these law enforcement officers go out with some nefarious or malicious intent in their heart to deny people their rights and to indiscriminately shoot and take people's lives for nothing. And I was incensed by that.
David Clarke, Milwaukee County Sheriff, who joins us once again. Sheriff, welcome back, sir. Sheriff?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good to talk to you again. All right, so you were talking there about Attorney General Eric Holder, who I agree with you, made some outrageous statements. And you know, the insinuation there, to me, is a constant theme from this administration.
There's no doubt about it. And I find it disheartening, first of all, but I find it disgusting as well, especially when it comes to the Attorney General. You know, it's a law enforcement position, and he should know better because the kind of stuff that he deals with, you know, he's supposed to try to remain neutral and not take sides and keep his powder dry when some of these things are going on, especially where he might play a role later on in making a determination as to whether or not something more is warranted. And he already, as far as I'm concerned, telegraphed where he's at on it, that he's already made his decision that this officer, Darren Wilson, was wrong and that he may have committed a crime. And the evidence was still being investigated. The case was still under investigation and reviewed by the grand jury. And I just think for him to feed off the emotion that was going on at the time was shameful conduct coming from somebody of his position. That's one thing when you hear some goof like, you know, Al Sharpton go off half-cocked and some of these other clowns. That's kind of expected from people in those roles, but not from the Attorney General of the United States.
How does this case continue to have life? Is it the media? Are they 90% responsible? Because if the media would just tell it like it is, that a grand jury has spoken and that basically a thug robbed a store, beat up a cop, and then got killed, and presenting him as a teenager. You know, there was a rape story out in New York today at a university where 4 18-year-old men were arrested for raping or sexually assaulting, whatever they called it, an 18-year-old woman. And the media called them men and women. But in Michael Brown's case, it's a child or a teenager, same age.
Yeah, the media they're going to do what they do, and they have a role to play. But I think there's a responsibility to go along with their sacred right under the First Amendment. And sometimes I think that responsibility gets thrown out the window at times like this. Look, this thing captured the national stage as well as probably worldwide, and you can say and look and poke at the media. I don't mean you personally, but people can say, well, we think they fueled this and they did some things that were questionable. And that's true, but you know what? This also came from some of the political leadership as well. And that may have fueled the media even more because, as you know, race is an explosive issue in this country. It always has been and always will be. But instead of stoking those flames of racial discord, I think people like President Obama, I think people like Attorney General Eric Holder, I think people like Governor Nixon of Missouri, Senators Claire McCaskill, and others who are in positions of elected leadership. I expect them to behave differently regardless of what the media is doing. But I believe some of the stuff that was said was actually stoking the flames of racial discord. Look, let's be honest.
By all of those people you mentioned, including Obama, correct?
By all of them.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, has made a political career of using a strategy of divide and conquer, stoking discontent, resentment, and animosity between groups of people. And it isn't just the racial end. I mean, we saw that played out in the elections this past November, where they tried to stoke up that racial discord with accusations that Republicans and conservatives were trying to take blacks' voting rights away. I mean,
right.
There was some pretty crazy stuff. But then also, this fictitious war on women, pitting men against women. You get a gender animosity going on there. You got
Class warfare. Single way he can, he divides. You're absolutely right.
And he benefits from it politically. So that's why I said what I did when I said, I find his comments after the riots started disingenuous, because he had a chance before the riots started to make it very clear in unequivocal
right,
language.
no violence. He didn't do it. David,
Right.
Sheriff, got to go. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you again soon.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you. David Clarke, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back.